Wow. Everyone should be throwing up like a little bit in their mouth when they say this. Oh, ooh, yeah, throw yourself in there. Hey, I support this more than I support him marrying a child. I mean, she still seems pretty young. 15? Hey y'all, welcome back to the Lips Reaction. I'm Lips, and today we continue our House of the Dragon journey with episode 2 of season 1. This episode is titled The Rogue Prince. Yeah? I imagine the prince is rogue. Prince. Well, we started off with a fantastical start in episode 1 with a lot of setting for this world. Familiar world, new characters, and with all that said, I'm ready to get into it. So if you want the full-length reaction to this or anything else you see here on this channel and more, head over into the Patreon. That is where you can access all full-length reactions in a watch-along style. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here today, and I'll see you in the episode. Oh. Oh. Oh.
He passed in peace, I hope.
Yes, Your Grace. He was found to have passed gently in his sleep. Would like to make haste in finding Sir Ryan's replacement on the King's Guard.
With the help of the Hand, I've invited a number of fine candidates to court. All have passed fair trials.
4 ships have now been lost.
Ooh.
The last one was flying my banner.
Oh.
I want to know what is to be done about my ships and my men. I want to seize the stepstones by force and burn out this crab feeder.
I am not prepared.
Oh.
These pirates are not the free cities.
Who do you think provides them with their ships and tender?
The free cities.
The 7 kingdoms have never entered open war with the free cities. Were that to happen, the losses would be incalculable.
She's listening. She's smart.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us? Daemon has squatted there for over half a year without even a protest from the crown.
6 months have passed?
A seat at the king's table does not make you his equal.
Wow, wow.
The stepstones will be settled. In time.
You have dragon riders, father.
Ooh.
Send us.
Including her? The queen to be?
Rhaenyra.
It would be a show of force.
At least the princess has a
She's
plan.
strong. She's like commands attention.
I only meant that we should at least...
Perhaps there's some better use for the princess's talents, Your Grace.
However, she's just still not taken seriously.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander? This knight will protect you as well. You should choose.
Damn. Damn.
Sir Desmond Caron, a fine knight, Princess. While traveling through the King's Wood on his way to King's Landing, Sir Desmond recently brought a would-be poacher to justice. You might thank him for his loyal service, Princess.
We thank you for your loyal service to the crown, sir.
Hmm.
Sir Ryman Mallister. He was the last mounted of 3 and 20 knights. Sir Ryman was knighted at 8 and 10.
Do any of these knights have combat experience?
Oh. Yikes. Oh, one does.
Sir Kristen Cole,
And he's kind of cute.
son of the steward of the Lord of Blackhaven.
Oh, he is cute.
You saw combat in the Stormlands.
Dornish marches, Princess. I fought for a year as a foot soldier against the Dornish incursions.
I choose Sir Kristen Cole.
Let's not be
Yes,
too
she
hasty,
does.
Princess.
Okay, she's not the Princess of Genovia. She's a Targaryen.
And allies of the crown. Seaguard, for instance, is the realm's prime defense against reavers from the Iron Islands.
Those men are tawny knights. My father should be defended by a man who's known real combat.
Oh, so it's to defend her and her father. Interesting. Look, they tried to take away some power from her. A decision, a seat at the table. She quite literally doesn't have a seat at the table yet. And she said, okay. She went in peace. Then she said, if I am to make a decision, I'm going to make a decision. Going to stand firm and strong. That's pretty cool.
This was the Enoglion. But the Blood Mages worked their craft.
It is truly wondrous what you've built.
Oh,
Oh, she's still visiting him in his quarters.
Do you believe that Westeros can be another Valyria, Your Grace?
no. Over 1,000 dragons, a navy large enough to span the seas of the world. The glory of old Valyria will never be seen again.
7 hells indeed.
I wish she would approach me.
What if you went to her?
There are times when I would rather face the Black Dread himself than my own daughter of 15.
Relatable. I don't think I'd I don't even think I'd want to sit with my teenage self. Oh, that's a lie, but
You do not mention our talks to Rhaenyra, do you?
ooh.
I fear that she wouldn't understand them.
No, Your Grace.
Yep. It's always a good sign when an older man asks a young girl to keep their hangouts private.
It's only been half a year since my mother died. And already they tried to marry my father off and replace me as heir.
Ooh.
You cannot worry at the matters of lords and kings, Rhaenyra.
She can and she should.
What if your father were to remarry?
Ooh, to her. Oh, they are distant.
Your father loves you. He chose you for his heir.
He didn't choose me, he spurned Daemon.
Ooh. Okay, she's not wrong.
Kneel with me.
I liked Allison, but she is new.
I find this is a way to be with my mother.
Oh.
Here in the quiet of the Sept. I feel close to her. I know it sounds foolish.
Not at all.
What do I say?
Whatever you wish. It's only for you and the gods to know.
This feels like a softer moment between the two of them. Two young ladies bound by the loss of their mothers, respectively.
I want him to see me as more than his little girl.
Oh.
Mine own father does not know the language of girls either. When I wish to talk with him, I know that I must make the effort.
She's a good manipulator. I mean, she's doing it, I think, in this instance, from a place of actual caring and, like, wanting the best for them. And being friends with Rhaenyra.
I wish to apologize for the tenor at the small council today, Your Grace.
Your fleet is one of the realm's most important assets, Lord Corlys. But you must understand, as king, it is my obligation to avoid war until such time it is unavoidable.
Might I speak plainly, Your Grace? I fear that the eyes of our enemies are presently fixed on the Red Keep. The Queen has passed. A girl has been named heir to the Iron Throne.
They're gonna push him to get married.
The king's brother, so disinherited, has claimed the Targaryen seat on Dragonstone without challenge. And now a foreign power has established a colony in our most critical shipping lane.
At the moment, the Crown is perceived as being vulnerable.
And a blind incursion in the Stepstones is the only way to demonstrate that we are not?
To elude a storm, you can either sail into it or around it. But you must never await its coming.
Oh, that's okay. That's wise.
Join our families.
Whoa.
Wed our daughter, Lena. Unite the two great surviving Valyrian houses.
How old is Lena?
You can show the realm that the Crown's strongest days are ahead.
Oof.
It hasn't even been half a year since Emma passed.
The realm expects you to take a new wife sooner or later, Your Grace, to strengthen your line and produce more heirs.
More heirs. I need to see Lena. I didn't know they had kids that were like teenagers. At least, I would hope. 18 would be preferable. Older would be even better.
We haven't spoken much. since...
She's gonna make the effort.
We should be free to speak our minds to one another.
You can say whatever you'd like. You are the king.
He's also your father.
I loved your mother very much.
He's gonna get married. He's gonna tell her here.
But in questioning them, I discovered that Sir Criston was the only man among them with true battle experience.
You will make a fine knight of the King's Guard.
Today at small council,
Paid no mind.
I thought I might have had some insight.
You're young.
But
She's trying to open the door with you. Stop shutting her down.
This is our best chance to save the digit, Your Grace.
Oof.
The maggots
Wait.
will remove the dead flesh.
Oh, I thought that was rice. What is happening to him?
I held an audience earlier today with Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenyra. He proposed a marriage.
To whom?
Oh, he's like, no. Because he's trying to slide in there.
Lord Corlys has overreached, Your Grace. Such matters must be discussed with a small council.
That is what I'm doing presently.
This guy has his own agenda, though.
The Lady Rhaenyra is young, Your Grace.
Indeed, but the wounds made by the Great Council still linger, my king.
Yeah, if I'm thinking about the two children I saw in episode 1, they're quite young.
And uniting the two great Valyrian houses would certainly signal unity throughout the realm and beyond.
Yikes.
I do fear what Rhaenyra might think.
What does it matter, Your Grace? Her mother has passed. Her father must propagate the royal line.
It matters a great deal. Damn, they're cold.
I dearly loved my own lady wife, and to be compelled to replace her for duty's sake. You are the king.
Also, when your hand has placed a very beautiful woman that he would love for you to marry right in your room. Often. And beautifully. For his own reasons. Yeah, that's a baby. No shot, no shot, no shot. You cannot get me on board with this.
Do you know where she nests?
I'm sorry?
Do you know where Vhagar is now?
The Dragon Keepers believe she made home somewhere on the coast of the Narrow Sea.
Spice Town report hearing her song at times. They say it's a sad thing.
I imagine even dragons get lonely.
I imagine that dragon is in Dragonstone. No?
Your Grace, it would be a great honor to join our houses as they were in Old Valyria.
You are a
I would give you
child.
many children of pure Valyrian blood.
I don't even think you can have children.
Is that what your father told you to say?
She should be out like
did your
collecting
mother tell
rocks and climbing trees.
That I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
That would still be so young. He can't do it. Ooh, everyone be watching.
It bothers you, does it not?
Duh.
My father is a king. It is his duty to take a new wife and strengthen his line.
Oh, very political of her.
Rhaenyra is your daughter, princess. Does it bother you?
Ooh,
Of course it does.
really? You pushed for it, though.
I understand the order of things. I'm not sure you do.
Wow.
If you mean to elicit some anger from me, you should know that you're failing, princess.
Whether it's to my daughter or to someone else's, your father will remarry, sooner than late. His new wife will produce new heirs, and chances are better than not that one of those will be male.
Yikes.
The men of the realm will expect him to be heir, not you.
She's not wrong.
Because that is the order of things.
When I am queen, I will create a new order. They denied you, Princess Rhaenys. The queen who never was. But they
Rude.
bent the knee to me and called me heir to the throne.
Do you remind your father's men of that as you carry their cups?
Ooh, you don't even really have a seat at the table yet, girl. She's not wrong. This is a hostile conversation now.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne. And your father is no fool.
That is a cold, hard truth.
The small council is urging me to remarry. Seems the realm wants for a new queen.
Oh, I thought he was talking to his daughter.
Does the small council have a particular lady in mind?
Lord Corlys Balarion has offered the hand of his daughter.
Yikes, yikes, yikes again. Yikes. The child, Lena.
Very strong match, Your Grace.
I must
Wow.
admit,
Everyone should be throwing up
I don't
like a
know anyone
little
well.
bit in their mouth when they say this.
I'm sure that she is good and kind. And that
But I
she will
guess
enjoy
this
your
is the
company,
order of things.
as I have, Your Grace.
Oh, ooh, yeah, throw yourself in there. Hey, I support this more than I support him marrying a child. I mean, she still seems pretty young. 15?
I brought you something.
I can't help but notice that she has dark hair though. Which I do fear he's gonna hate.
I asked the stonemasons to mend it.
this is a very kind gesture, Alicent.
I thought she went into this unknowing and unwillingly, but she is, I think, fully in this.
Your Grace, I've called the small council to an emergency session.
Why?
I think it best you hear it directly.
Oh no. Did Rhaenyra do something?
Dariloros Daemon Sikia Sida Seglivze.
The rogue prince.
It is the pleasure of Daemon Targaryen, the Prince of Dragonstone and rightful heir to the Iron Throne, to announce that he is to take a second wife in the tradition of old Valyria. Her Grace is with child.
Oh wow.
The Prince has invited you to his wedding, Your Grace.
God's been good. Who is Lady Missaria?
We believe
Daemon's Hall.
That's the woman he took on the dragon with him.
My brother wishes to provoke me. To answer is to give him what he wants.
The realm is watching, Your Grace.
Perhaps I could put his head on a spike.
Daemon has seized Dragonstone, has surrounded himself with an army of gold cloaks, and has now stolen a dangerous weapon.
Ooh. Speak, girl.
Dromone Drozzo Iles Dariloros. Dariloro Belo Matsumbile. Iderepte Enkono.
Wow. That is low, even for Daemon.
Assemble a detachment, Otto.
Uh-oh.
I will go to Dragonstone and drag Daemon back to face justice
Your
myself.
Grace. Daemon is without limit. Let me go to Dragonstone.
You do be needing a king to rule. Although, I don't know, he does kind of seem like he's already dying.
You're the most comely girl at court. Why do you destroy yourself?
Why does she pick her fingers? It's kind of hot.
Sir Crispin, wasn't it?
Sir Criston Cole, my prince.
Ah, yes, apologies. I couldn't recall.
Perhaps my prince recalls when I knocked him off his horse.
Oh.
I'm simply keeping with the traditions of my house, the same as my brother did for his.
How does he have so many people following him?
Born children of royalty, not for bastards fathered on a common whore. To choose violence here is to declare war against your king.
Wonderful.
Wonderful, he said.
Of your unborn child and its mother.
Whoa, let's leave the unborn child out of this. Shoot.
you. Sheathe the fucking steel.
Well, that's powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. She commands attention and respect. I just wish her own father would give it to her. She said, get out. One day, oh, she's not actually pregnant.
I'm right here, Uncle. The object of your ire. The reason that you were disinherited.
Ooh.
If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me.
He won't. I don't know. This is Westeros. Thank you. Wow. Because he loves her? Good job, girl. Wow. I love to see powerful women on powerful dragons doing badass things. Oh, she's seething.
You announced that we were to be wed?
Oh, she didn't know?
And that I was with child. Your child. I ensured long ago that I would never be threatened by childbirth.
Oh,
good.
You swore to protect me, Daemon.
Ooh.
I have been sold this property more times than I care to count. Most of my years have been spent living in terror.
Good for her. For standing up for herself.
You are Targaryen. You can afford to play your stupid games with the king, but
play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
I didn't come into your service wanting gold, the power, a station.
Did she just want love?
I came to you to be liberated.
Liberated?
From what?
Fear.
So what an audacious thing to... She just said she'd been sold more times than she could count. Liberated from what? Oh my god, Daemon.
I have come looking for an unencumbered opinion.
That's all I would ever give, Your Grace.
Ever since my name was read by the Archmaesters at the Great Council, I have felt Corlys Balarian's envious gaze staring at me.
Yeah, I think we can all feel that, to be fair.
Proud men don't like having to look up.
He wanted that throne just as much as she did.
Lord Corlys is your master of ships. And she is the eldest daughter of the wealthiest house in the realm. And she has Targaryen blood.
She is 12.
She will mature.
So?
Marriage is not an obligation you can put off for long.
What if I was to reject Lord Corlys' proposal?
He would not be like to take it well.
So you better have someone else.
You should also consider that we find ourselves on the precipice of war in the Stepstones.
Who is he to act to me?
No one, Your Grace.
He better not, but he might.
My unencumbered opinion.
I do.
You should wed Lena Velaryon, Your Grace.
No. Can someone say no?
Your Grace, the princess has returned from Dragonstone.
Dragonstone?
Yeah. Yes, she has returned from Dragonstone. They're not gonna give her powers. She is gonna have to take it from their cold, alive grips.
You are my only heir. You could have been killed. You went to Dragonstone.
And retrieve the egg without bloodshed. A feat I'm not sure Sir Otto could have accomplished alone.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, give it to her.
I sometimes forget how alike you both were.
Hello? Oh, her and her mother. Thought she was saying her and Daemon.
Without her, the Red Keeper's lost a warmth, and I dare say it will never recover.
That is such a sweet thing to say.
I wish I had known better what to say to you in the aftermath. I struggled to realize that my daughter had so quickly become a woman grown.
Yeah.
But I know she understands what is now expected of me.
The king must take a new wife.
I could never replace your mother.
Definitely not with a 12-year-old.
But you are my only heir. And our line is vulnerable. Too easily ended. And by marrying again, I may begin to ensure that we are better defended.
Against whom?
Whomever may dare to challenge us.
Many people will. Including your own selves. Only people who can bring down the Targaryens are the Targaryens.
Mother would have understood this. Just as I do.
She handles it well. I know she was born to this life, but I think she's gonna be a good politician.
Good morrow, my lords.
Can she please have a seat at the table yet? Oh, Alicent is in here.
I have decided to take a new wife.
Uh-oh.
I intend to marry the Lady Alicent Hightower before spring's end.
Oh. I don't know what she wants anymore. I can't tell. Oh.
This is an absurdity.
Your daughter's 12! Ooh. Like I said, my plan, it worked. Shit. He was playing 4D chess. Sorry, buddy. Didn't even let that man have a singular night without Alicent sneaking in there. Start wooing him.
Rhaenyra.
Wait. Did Rhaenyra not know?
House Valarian's origins reach back to old Valyria. More ancient even than House Targaryen, according to some texts.
Who the hell are you talking to?
We were no dragon lords.
Without the dragons, they're just people.
When I ascended the Driftwood throne, I knew what I wanted. So I went out and seized it.
Oh.
Unlike every other lord of the realm, I can say that I built my house's high seat with the strength of mine own back.
And you got so close to the throne.
I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
No, they didn't need to make that reveal so dramatic. We knew it was Daemon. We knew he was about to backstab us.
Did you call me to Driftmark to remind me of my low standing, Lord Corlys?
Okay, Daemon.
You've heard of the troubles in the Stepstones. I've been petitioning the king to send my navy into the territory, but he's denied me.
It was never my brother's strongest trait.
What?
Being king.
And the king's failures have allowed him to accumulate strength.
Yikes.
I will not have Driftmark beggared while our king idles himself with feasts and balls and tourneys.
I will speak of my brother.
It does kind of look bad.
You will not.
Oh, okay, Daemon.
Waiting in the Stepstones is a chance for you to prove your worth to any who might yet doubt it. We are the realm's second sons, Daemon. Our worth is not given. It must be made.
And they're not going down without a fight. Hello? The heck is that? There's an interesting thing so far about House of the Dragon that I find myself having to rationalize with like the second sons. right? With Lord Corlys and with Daemon. Daemon from the get-go came off pretty evil. Lord Corlys from the get-go, you could tell that he'd been very close to being king. I mean, I suppose he would have been considered king, right? Next to his wife, who would have been considered queen. But that opportunity wasn't given to them because of the systems in place that preferred to give the ruling seat to the male heir, closest male heir. So you can tell that he came in with, like, at the beginning, well, and it still is kind of right, this like justified, I don't want to say bitterness, just kind of like, who wouldn't be a little upsetty spaghetti if they lost out on that? And by all accounts, the princess she's powerful, and she seemingly would have been a great ruler, for all we know. And that is all we know, because she's not the ruler. And we have this like mirrored aspect right too now of this like Princess Rhaenyra getting so close. I mean, being the heir to the throne at this moment and being so incredibly close to that seat and getting counseled and being like, but it will never be you. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, it will never be you. So this dynamic of power is already very understandable. I think going into the world of Westeros, we're very familiar. If you've seen Game of Thrones, very familiar with the role and the power and the idea of sitting on the Iron Throne. Being able to sit on the Iron Throne, what all that entails. However, what's missing for me right now is something that I think the Game of Thrones series did really well, which was like, even when there were people that I didn't like or didn't agree with, there were like redeeming qualities, or like I get kind of more behind their stories. And you know, maybe that's hindsight because I've seen all of Game of Thrones now, but I'm finding it a little more difficult to connect with the other half of the story. I feel very readily and easily attached to Rhaenyra. And I think there's obviously some people close to the king who aren't necessarily really on his side. And I can see those ones that are like playing the game in a different way, like Alicent and her father, the Hand of the King. I can see that they are kind of like easily likable, but possibly not the best people in this world at times. I don't know. Alicent seems pretty sweet. But yeah, Daemon seems pretty evil and unlikable. Evilable. Combine those words. Lord Corlys, he seems likable and he seems steady, right? But and I understand why he's so mad that the king is letting him down and not going after this, what is it, the sea serpent? That makes a lot of sense to me. I wish there was more pull on that than just like immediately going. I mean, I think it makes sense that he immediately went to Daemon, but it is interesting that they made that like they made that moment such a big reveal. But it's like, obviously that's who he went to. Who else would he have gone to? Who else would he have gone to? It had to have been Daemon. It was always going to be Daemon. It's the obvious choice. I'm still sad he did it though. I think that's going to be a pretty powerful duo of, I don't want to say evil because I think Daemon is pretty evil. I think what we saw him do, slaughtering a bunch of people, that was pretty evil. He seems pretty righteous and pretty like petty. I think Lord Corlys seems like he's worked really, really hard to be in this position of power. And like he just said, his whole entire house could be brought to nothing if the sea isn't taken care of. And I think that's really honestly and truly fair. I think to stay blind to the world around you, and while I can understand it, like starting a war with the free cities would be bad, but it doesn't have to start with war. War should be the last step, the last resource, I guess. The last attempt to address a problem. However, I think that's where we're going. Yeah, I'm hoping that we get a little more pull into the world around us. I feel really immersed in the Red Keep. I feel really immersed with Rhaenyra. I feel really immersed with that storyline, that center of gravity, I'd like to call it for the story. And I feel less immersed with the rotating solar system that's coming around us. Not to say that I don't understand it, but I find it really easy to write off what the other characters want because I'm not immersed in their goals. And that's what I'm looking for, right? Because like I want to be in that position that I think Game of Thrones does a really, really good job of putting you in, which is like sometimes not knowing which side you want and like wanting everyone to have their cake and wanting everyone to win. And then like always having this opportunity to be vulnerable and hurt because like no matter what happens, you understand or care for someone on the losing side. And you understand and care for someone who's overstepping their power. And I think that is really juicy and like, oh, I just feel like right now the show is like a green banana. You want it to be so good and it satisfies you. And for all intents and purposes, it's doing a great job at telling a story. But I just bit into it like 5 minutes too early, if that makes sense. And then I'm in no means trying to dog on the show. I'm just recognizing that like, I'm recognizing that I have to do a lot of mental work to not just completely write off the other characters, which I think is due to where the show has brought us so far. I think we're in this deep setup. I do also know, I don't know anything else about the show, but I do know from my hairdresser, because we just talk about Game of Thrones. I always update her with where I'm at in my journey. I do know that she didn't finish watching the first season when it came out because at some point they like jump in time and the cast changes. So I'm also kind of wondering like when that happens. Also for the record, she did end up finishing the first season and loved it right before the second season came out. So I do know that much. Which maybe, I mean, you could say maybe I shouldn't know, but alas, I'm aware. So I'm excited to get into episode 3. I think the world is as juicy as ever. I think the foundation is strong. I am Team Rhaenyra, obviously. Fuck Daemon. I do want a little more insight on what just happened there with Rhaenyra, though, because I guess I was kind of under the impression because Alicent was brought into the room, and why would Alicent be brought into the room if it wasn't discussed ahead of time that he would be choosing Alicent? I think Alicent makes more sense. It is that the Hand of the King won it all along, and I did think that Alicent knew that that's what she was kind of doing. Whether or not she really wanted to, that's a different question and a different Corey and path we can go down once we learn a little bit more. But right now the episodes have been good, and I am excited to get a little bit deeper into it. And perhaps it's just stuff that like on a second watch through will make a little more sense. And right now, first time, it's like just a lot of foundation. It's season 1 of a new show, so I'm gonna give them that credit. It's season 1 of a new show when I've just finished watching all of Game of Thrones, which like having gone back and rewatching season 1 right now also had its moments of like not being as built out. So, but you know, you stick with it and the world expands and builds out over time. Sometimes it's like when you first get into a game and everything is like smooth and there's certain things I haven't rendered in. Like I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, is that a tree or a building? I mean, obviously I have the foundation. I'm just, again, I want to be sucked in a little more to the other side of the story. Because again, I'm having no issues being sucked into the story. I'm having a wall up to the characters that are being shown to us in this moment as the bad guys. And I want to kind of connect with them more because I think it'll make my experience a little juicier. But maybe we never will. Maybe that's not what this show is all about. So join me for episode 3 if you want full-length reactions or on Patreon. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's chat down in the comments below if you had similar feelings. If you think I'm just, maybe I'm just too Team Rhaenyra so far, and that's why I'm having issues. And I wouldn't even say they're issues. I'm just, because I think I'm trying to cheer on the other team, because I think just writing people off makes for a boring experience for me. Or, oh, there's duality and everything. Okay, with that said, let's chat down in the comments. I'll see you in the next one, guys.